Morning, everyone. Welcome back. JR, Darren, Sniper, Chuck, Jay Stores, Richard, Vivian, Emmanuel, Ray and Trade. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Tesla and Apple up. Okay. Well, so far, NQ is up from its closing price on Friday from 17,837. Currently trading about 80 points higher. Its maximum was about 100 points higher than that. Yeah, I found them. I did find them, Richard. A lot of news this week. That's a good point. On the investor. Yep. Good morning, Ray. All right, everyone. Yeah, let's go ahead and get going with the news review this morning, just for the week. So we do know that there's no news today as far as the medium and high impact is concerned. We don't have anything. However, tomorrow, 8:30 high impact, 10 o'clock high impact, 9 and 9:45 medium. Wednesday, 8:15, 9:45, 10 o'clock, 2 p.m., 2:30. The medium at 10. We have high impact at 8:30 on Thursday, so that's the only thing. So Thursday seems to be a little less eventful than the other days. And then, of course, Friday is NFP. So we have high impact, three of them at 8:30, medium at 9:45, and another high impact at 10. So yes, this week promises to be quite eventful. There promise to be some fast movements, lots of volatility. And so it's just our job to find an entry model that we like and catch the wave, ride it to our TP. All right, so we got a FOMC press conference at 2:30 with a statement coming in at 2 and NFP at 8:30 on Friday. So yeah, Wednesday and Friday should hmm, be careful in either way when you're looking at price. Definitely be aware of when the news will be announced. Make sure you're not currently in a position prior to, and if you are, hopefully you've been trading for a while so you understand the risk. All right, yeah, a little less than 10 minutes before our opening bell this morning. All right, let's see if we can get a US dollar overview and just see where we can expect price to move this week. So we had a swing high here on Tuesday, April 16th. So this is the daily chart we're looking at and talking about 2 weeks ago, roughly. We made a swing high and then price started to trade back into the zone, into this fair value gap right here where we saw price find support and start pushing outwards. Okay, we can move this, shift it up here. All right, so now that we've seen pretty much the last week of trading inside of this fair value gap area, we didn't see candle body below. We did see a few wicks, including today's wick is already pressed through, but already recovered and now trading above the fair value gap. Or actually, it's just inside. Just inside, it was above. So we'll see this week. I'm thinking that price will want to take this high now that it's moved back inside and taken um, internal internal range liquidity. It should seek external range, and we may see price pop up here. So in that case, if we do see a move up for indices early in the week, and then we start seeing lower prices later in the week, it's probably going to be the inverse relationship here. So we'll continue to monitor the hour and just make sure that that's still true as we move throughout the week. Let's see, here's the hourly. Okay, looks like these fair value gaps down here, the hourly ones, are providing plenty of support for price, and now it wants to move out of this range back into the bearish fair value gaps, back up into premium pricing. So we'll see as it moves back into premium if that pushes price back down towards equal lows here, or if it starts sweeping these swing highs. Right. And let's also take a look at our comparison chart here just to see how things have been trading this morning. All right, so we got a little SMT so far, whereas we have our last week's high definitely been traded above. So all three have taken last week's high. However, NQ is also taking out the London high created at 2 o'clock. I took that out at 8 o'clock here. And if we look at the other indices, you can see the high of the day is still relevant. All right, so we'll continue to monitor that. We see all three currently showing a bearish candle for the first half hour of this hour. Let me make this a little larger. All right, so the only one to sweep highs is NQ. Let's now look and see if now they're going to go and sweep lows and look for support inside of these bullish fair value gaps below all three indices. Likewise, the dollar said it'll likely maybe swing for the swing highs because it has already traded into internal range liquidity. It may be seeking external range. All right, so we have the opening bell in 3 or 4 minutes. Switch back over. All right, Sniper, we are ready for a new week now. Mondo, good morning. How long? After today, 5 months exactly. We started on December the 1st. So we got today and tomorrow, and then we'll complete our 5th month tomorrow. Turtle soup, okay. Good morning, good morning. Hello, Molly, Roberto, Sleeping Tiger, HCE. Good morning, everyone. 30 seconds before the opening bell here. Right, we have a bearish fair value gap just above us at 17,938-ish. And we have a few daily highs from the 16th and 17th just above that were never traded into from a couple weeks ago. To the 15-minute, make it a little easier for me to drag over to midnight open in 8:30. Right, so I have to manually do the Asia opening, high and low on Mondays because for whatever reason, the indicator doesn't work well on Sunday nights. Okay, we can see the opening bell now. Look like it's going to push into the fair value gap above us. And there it is. So we've had the London high already traded into this morning, London low already traded into as well. Right, same with the Asia low, same with the Asia high. All right, so session highs and lows are done as well. I'll remove those. Get back down to the 5-minute. Wait for this candle to close and see if we need to shift our protected low. Hello, Splash. Good morning. Mia, good morning. Twin, good morning. All right, remember last week we were calling out where the previous all-time high was, and that was at 17,957. So we're getting really close to that all-time high that was broken back in December. And then we broke it several times in January, February, March, even maybe early April as well, before finally starting to retrace. So once we broke below that level, it's always good to retrace back to it. J Stores. All right, good job. Oh, you did in both accounts. All right, opening 5 minutes is now complete. Hmm. Yep, there you go, J Stores. Stay disciplined and keep up the good work. And so we had a trade down to the fair value gap here to the edge of it, but now it's rolling even further down. So this fair value gap is most likely going to be invalidated. So I'll get rid of it here. All right, I'm looking at the other indices, and we do have they all pretty much did something very similar to the opening bell, where there was a big push up higher, and so they all ended up sweeping their London low or London highs. So earlier we did look, and we saw the Dow hadn't swept the London high, and neither did S&P. So all three of them have done that now. So there's no S&T there, but we do show NQ being the weaker of the three, pushing much harder than the others to hit lows. In fact, sweep lows. You can see here at the bottom left on the hourly, NQ has just swept a swing low. All right, everyone, we find ourselves inside of the new week opening gap. So the new week opening gap has not been filled on this lower half. And now it has been filled. Let's take that off the screen there. All right, 100 points down from the opening bell now. Hey, Karan, what's up? Good morning. It's a good point. Hopefully nobody was long. Or if they were, hopefully they had a tight stop. Yep. Please use a stop every time, not just this week. Use a stop all the time. Yeah, I didn't see an entry. I didn't see my entry model for this price movement down, so it's nothing for me to feel FOMO about. But I get it. You see price move 100 points and you wonder why you didn't get a piece of that. But for me, when I look at my entry model, I didn't find it. And maybe later on when I'm reviewing today's price action this morning, maybe I'll see it and slap myself in the forehead for missing it. But as of right now, I don't see it. 943 entry. Oh, damn. Okay. Damn. So you got about as good an entry as you could get. Wow. All right. Nice, sniper. Triple C, good morning. Queen, good morning. Oh, that sounds great, sniper. I spent, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours this weekend back testing as well after the fifth breaker was confirmed. Okay. And 900. Okay. Cool. Miss Healthy, good morning. You find anything good, Sniper? That's something that you can use now? Yep. Yeah, we're also in a new week opening gap here. So we'll see if this is where price wants to find stability, find some support, and then turn around. All right, S&P did not close in the new week opening gap yet, so it's still wide open. All right, so if S&P was this same chart, these lows are up in this region. So it haven't swept this low, nor has it traded through the gap yet. Okay, we're 2 minutes into the macro now. All right, Sniper. Thanks for sharing your findings with us. Yeah, so this low right here just basically created relative equal lows with this lunchtime low just below it, 17,826. Yep, then we have Friday somewhere around 4 p.m. was in the same area. These equal lows right here. So let's see if we get this lunch low swept from Friday, 17,826. Yep. Yeah, we know. Yeah, Sniper, but you're on your way. You'll get there. Don't worry. Mm-hmm. You said there were lots of trades that gave a 5R. Okay. Three trades gave 5R and one was a loss of 1R. Okay, that seems like a net of plus 14R. Okay, so we got the sweep of this most recent low at 17,831. So we're pushed below it already. Now let's see how price reacts. Remember, we're inside of the macro now, so it's 5 till 10. All right, the gray shaded area, whenever you see those on my chart, that is a new day opening gap, but an older one. So this is from probably one day last week, on top of a bullish fair value gap here down at 18,805 to 8. I'm sorry, 17,805 to 17,817, that area. Okay, nice impulsive candle here. New York low is now on the chart, as well as New York session high. Okay, and back test your idea on what the trades this weekend. Okay, awesome. Yep, Queen. Yeah, I saw it on the one. I didn't necessarily see it on the 2 minute, but here on the 1 minute, we definitely have a breaker that formed from this range. Hope everyone can see that. Did a trade below, a close above, now a trade back inside. Hit your TP for the day. All right, Roberto. Good job. Have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one. I'll be back. I'm going to go and refill my cup. Be right back. assuming we got a handful of people who jumped into this breaker here. The 3 minute, 5. Hey, Triple C, what's up? TJ, what's going on? Roberto, I think the long setup is this breaker here. Yep. Raise long ES, okay. If it goes up and taps the midnight open, see if we can get a test of that level. Okay, so we did get a tap of the midnight open. Wasn't paying attention. And I'm flat as well. I'm out. Yeah, that's true. The breakers don't fail very often. I was trying to wait for 40 points here on the breaker, but I closed up at the midnight open. Yep. Midnight opens right at 30 points for me. And during my back testing, I found 30 points to be the sweet spot of what you can get from a breaker. And sometimes what will happen is it'll deliver 30 points and then it'll retrace all the way back down, give you a deep retracement somewhere in here, maybe the 50% consequent encroachment level, and then go and take out some highs or whatever else the objectives were. But I found 30 points to be kind of a sweet spot there, and it's right at the midnight open. So all of this slow moving action was enough for me to close. Yeah, let me go back and check and see. Let's see how the others are doing. All right, so we did during the opening bell, we had the dollar pushing really high and pushing much higher than the level it was prior to the opening bell. But so far this hour and just the first 20 minutes, we've seen it push back to the low of the 9 o'clock. There's a bullish fair value gap created below that it hasn't traded into yet. So maybe it'll spend this hour and potentially the next hour getting down to trading into that fair value gap. And we'll see if that supports it or if it trades through. As far as the indices are concerned, all right, looks like Nasdaq was the only one to sweep those lows. So we're now starting to build back up, but the other two have remained a bit stronger this morning, with ES looking like the strength of the group. So I see why Ray took a long there. it's pretty much for this hour just delivered 51.42 up to, yeah, delivered like 10 points already. All right, we'll check back in a little bit and we'll see if the ES or NQ are able to sweep the morning highs, the New York high that we have already marked up on our chart. The New York high is at 17,949. So we got another 50 points to get up there. Original trade was here. Oops. $17.09. Yeah, it was originally set up for 39. I ended up taking only 30. You know what? Oh, wow. All right, so let's get back to the 5 minutes since we are well past the macro here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, Ray, I think also not only did we have the breaker entry here on the 1 minute, I think we may have also grabbed a silver bullet as well. We had a small fair value gap here on the 1 minute. 1004 traded right into it. Consequent encroachment and delivered more than the 20 points. Morning, Marlene. How are you? Yeah, Marlene, I think you just missed a long here. Many of us took the 1 minute breaker that formed here right around 10 o'clock. Let's see, Jonathan. Jonathan, which bearish breaker are you talking about? Absolutely, Ray. This is definitely a good start to the week. Feels good. No problem, Marlene. 920 candle. Okay, give me a second. Give me 1 second. Right. Okay. So your question was, how come you don't think short from the bearish breaker? Are you saying how come we're not thinking short here, or how come we're not taking the long all the way up here? Because if you're saying how come we're not thinking short, we're currently not trading there. So maybe when we get there, when price gets here, you can either, if you believe in this setup, you can blindly take the entry, or you can take this 5 minutes. Since the setup is on the 5 minute, you can drop down to the 1 minute or to the 30 second and see if you get a bearish breaker set up inside. Right, because when we all took trades, we were down here. Took trades off in 17. What's that? 870 roughly. 17,870 was the entry. And I was looking to get out at 909, and 909 is precisely at this bearish breaker you're talking about. Hello, Mass Petrochem. Good morning. Yep. And so for me, also, Jonathan, when I saw this happen, I don't know if you were on the online when this originally occurred, but I mentioned, I said it didn't give me my entry model. I see price selling aggressively, but it didn't give me the entry model. And even here, when it created and confirmed the breaker at the close. What's down here at 17,896. The breaker is at 909, so it's already set about the 15 points away. So the breaker is 15 points higher, and it never retraced back. It just kept going lower. So that's what I meant. Like it didn't give me an entry model. So price ran away from me and I didn't participate. But I also wasn't going to chase it without an entry model. Down here, it made a breaker on the 1 minute. It traded above, closed above, and traded back inside. So it gave the entry model, which is why that trade was taken. And then the TP was actually, I wasn't even concerned about this 5 minute bearish breaker, because in the exact same position on the 1 minute is a fair value gap. I'll show you. So here on the 1 minute, it's right here. You see a fair value gap. So this is where I was looking to exit at 909. So I didn't even have the awareness of the breaker being here. I just saw that as a nice place to exit my trade with the fair value gap sitting there. But that's why I didn't take it. It didn't provide an entry model. Yes, it provided the breaker, but price just ran away from the zone. Hey, Shark, good morning. What's up? My stop was below. All right, so it started at the top here, ended below the breaker. So the long was at 909 here. So that was the setup. Drop down to the 1 minute. I set my limit order. I set my limit order at the close of this 10 o'clock candle. So then 10:01 traded down. It didn't quite tap me in. I think 10:02 tapped me in. And then from there, price started moving in the direction. Oh, and I see now it would have delivered, but I exited my trade over here, and I would have had to wait another 15 minutes to get those final points. But now we're at the breaker that you was mentioning. So now we can look and see if there's a bearish setup forming and something that we can look to enter into. So in that case, this, whoops. All right, Shark's gonna do his own commentary, I guess, on the voice chat on Discord. Oh yes, yeah, right. You're right. 10:06. Oh, here. 10:06. I like this one right here. This was the sweet one. It was right here at consequent encroachment here at 10:04. Just perfect. But I took a conservative entry and I took it at 870, 69 and a half. Or I'm going to go back to the 5-minute here. So we did not take the New York low when we were down here, and we're now pushing higher. We'll see if we can break through what was a bearish breaker. In about 40 seconds, we'll finish up this 5-minute candle. There was a 5-minute fair value gap here. We'll see if that gets invalidated. Then we'll focus on the breaker, see if that gets invalidated. And from there, whether we think price is going to the New York high or not. Yep, 1004. That was the one I was looking at, Queen, as the silver bullet. But you said 1018 as well. Yep, we got 1010, 1024. Yep, those are all the ones you grabbed. You're right. All right, let's see if we get a closure below 901. All right, so the fair value gap here did get invalidated. Okay. $875. Okay. All right. Who's that who asked earlier? Jonathan. Yep. Jonathan, are you in a short here? Doji on the daily? Yep. You are? Okay, excellent. Excellent, excellent. What was what did you use as confirmation for your entry, Jonathan? Or was it just you had a 5-minute breaker, which we do have a 5-minute breaker, and you just used the breaker? Okay. Okay. I'll show you something, Jonathan, that helps support that idea. I was watching on my other screen on the 30-second. Right. So as we were building up this price leg here, and we got close to the breaker, that's when I was saying go down to either the 1 minute or 30-second or so if you have access to the 30-second, and look for a breaker there to confirm what you're doing. And therefore, it just makes it where you're not taking a blind breaker entry. But we had a breaker here. So we had a high to a swing low, making a higher high, and then closing below the breaker, below that swing low. We got a closure here. We're to trade back into consequent encroachment right here, and then price dropped off. So the confirmation for the 5 minute breaker was an additional breaker on the 30-second in the same range that you would expect it. Now the retracement didn't trade back to the 5 minute breaker, so that was the only deal. You would have had to enter either up here, just a market execution, just believing that the 5 minute would work, or if you waited for confirmation on the 30-second, you would have gotten in at 908 flat, 17,908 flat. But no, good trade, good job, and hopefully you're able to manage this trade and get a winner. Mm, men. All right, men. Oh, that's a good point. Queen brought up the OTE level, so let me go ahead and mark that up for anyone who likes to monitor that. Those levels. Right, consequent encroachment was at 78.6. Perfect. Wow, look at that. Five eval accounts. Hour. Oh, okay. Awesome. Nice, Shark. That's a good job. First hour. Okay, so you took the short from the opening bell, or you took the long from the opening bell, one of the two. Probably the short. For this level here. Just looking for middle line here, 891. All right. See if we get a failure here. Price bounces off this OTE in this gray area, which is the new day opening gap, and see if it fails. Hey, my bad. I forgot about putting my camera back up. All right, stuck at the midnight open again. Now you got in 2 hours pre-market. Oh, 7 something. All right, so you were in up in this area. And you were able to hold on. All right, Shark, man. You got diamond hands. You watch the opening bell, because the opening bell is always scary, and when it's pushing against you. But good job. Way to go. Right, so I'll redraw the 30-second just one more time just to see what just happened here. So this is the 30-second break. I'm redrawing it. We had two little wicks get in there when it peaked above the midnight open. Just like we had an entry on this side. And we had a drop of about 30, 35 points or so. 33, 35, somewhere in that range. Now we just had a tap in again at 902. We've had a trade lower 15 points, but let's see where it goes now, whether it continues to reject off this area or if it eventually pushes through. So I'll leave them both here for just a moment. If we get prices trading much lower, then I'll get rid of the 30-second just to clean the screen up a bit. Yep. Brad done for the day, been scalping. Okay, and then Q got a good profit for the day. Right, Brad, good job. Hold on to it. All right, so I can get rid of the 30-second again. So we can see here at 1043 and 1044, price traded right back into it once. Again at 902, it's now traded as low as 873, so it gave another 25 points. So got a 25er and almost a 35 point out of that 30-second breaker. Okay, mark out our swing low here at 17,869. See if we're able to trade down to that level. Also, it is the upper limit of the 5-minute bullish breaker, or I'm sorry, the 1-minute bullish breaker we used during 10 o'clock. Let's get back up. Okay, it's macro time now. What's your trading? Um, what's your entry model? What type of trader are you? Let's see. What is the hour? Um, yeah, the thing about the hourly is that last candle, the wick above and below, took out buy side and sell side liquidity. So right now we're just kind of in between the range, and so it's really hard to tell. I'd be willing to say that we might go down to 17,850, which is around consequent encroachment of a 1 hour fair value gap, but it's also near to the consequent encroachment of the wick on the 1 hour. So I'd be willing to say that we could possibly go down there, but which direction will it go first? It's hard to tell because it's right now almost dead slap in the middle. Yeah, the center point seems to be 17,890, which is, like I said, it's like right where we are now. So it's really hard to call. Let's see what's happening here. So on this last leg down, we retrace back up to 62%, actually 70, 78. So we retrace back into OTE. Right, if we delete that, now we take this swing. And we see the candle body sitting right on 78%. We do have wicks pressing below. If I go wick to wick, because I was going from the candle body, but if I extend it down to the wick, again, we see it tapping into OTE and I'm pushing up. So the range is getting smaller and smaller. This leg, and this leg is smaller than the previous leg. This leg is smaller than the previous leg. And now let's see if this leg is also small. And it just does this kind of little coiling action to where it's just moving sideways and then it's going to break either higher or lower. So it's coming soon. And open a long above 928. Okay. But Min, what's your entry strategy? What type of trader are you? Definitely. All right. While we're still just sitting here in the zone, then I guess we could pop over and just look and see where the dollar is trading currently. Okay, so we did finally get that push into the fair value gap that was created at the close of last hour. So we are trading into that now. Okay, we would like to see the indices pushing higher, which they at one point were, and you can see they're retraced half the range for Nasdaq, a bit more than half the range for S&P, and even more than half the range as well for the Dow. So they're all retracing, pushing lower over the last 10, 15 minutes. Um, at least for the Dow, it pushed into a bullish fair value gap, so that actually may be good to push out of. But the others just kind of in between the range, so we'll have to wait and see um, what type of momentum they pick up. But also we'll wait and see as well when the hour closes how the dollar responds to this area, whether it pushes through and go lower or whether it finds support and pushes higher. All right, so we'll come back in about 10 minutes or so and take a look. Hmm. I do the same, Queen. I don't usually uh, look at DXY because it's just too much when you're back testing to flip back and forth between different pairs, and then as you're fast forwarding the time in the candles, it's hard to keep up. So I usually don't do that either. And likewise with SMT, I don't look at the other pairs either. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I guess if you have the info, you might as well use it. But yeah, you can trade without it. All right, 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So we have one final hour of this morning's trading. Yeah, Jonathan, if you look at the screen here with on the 1 minute, so a change in state of delivery could be this candle right here. So we were pushing, we had a low created, and then we're pushing higher, trading above the swing high, and so we're bullish in this area here on the 1 minute. But then immediately afterwards, you had this big candle trade below, sweeping this low and overtaking these candles. So you got a change in state of delivery here, creating a bearish fair value gap. You trade back into it, and it goes lower. And then you actually get the market structure shift probably down here. So the change in state of delivery is an early indicator that price is going the opposite direction. But it's also more risky because sometimes you'll get an impulse down and then it'll build right back up and you end up losing the trade. But if it works out for you, you end up getting in up here as opposed to waiting for a market structure shift down here and then taking one of these entries for a short. Yep. digging in deeper into the breaker that we all took this morning, the 1 minute one. And I stretched across the fair value gap that we thought was the early entry into the silver bullet. Looks like so far price has made taking a little break from pushing lower. See how far down it wants to push. $17,850. I would hope so. We may even go for the New York low, so we may even get down to 830. So let's see. We are inside of the breaker again. Inside of the macro time frame. All right, that ends the macro there. We'll go back to the 5 minute. Grab my last cup of coffee this morning. I'll be right back. It dug a little deeper into the fair value gap, but nothing major. Low 850. Let's see. All right, the New York low is at 830. We have the lunch low from Friday at 826. Then we have a 1 hour fair value gap on top of a new day opening gap from sometime last week. Yep. Okay, so when it reopened on Thursday, that's where we're at, 425. All right, Shark. So those are your levels, 830, 825, and then you're talking about getting down to around 815 to 800. Yep. Okay, Apple's number 2, Amazon's number 4. Wow. All right. Yep. Which days are they announcing? All right, Queen. See you in an hour and a half or 2 hours, roughly. All right. If you're enjoying the stream so far, if you could do me a favor and hit the like button, please. Make sure we're communicating to YouTube that we're enjoying the stream and they should send more traders and recommend it to additional traders. 17,878. Okay. Make sure, I think on the 5 minute, I don't think there's been any change to the protected high or to market structure. Okay, let's now shift down. Let's look at the 1 minute and see if there's, nope. 30 second. Nope, still nothing. So it's still bearish price action we have, or at least market structure, bearish market structure. And for now, we're just watching price trade in the range. Let me get back to the 5 minute. We'll just sit on the 5 minute until we get to the macro in about another 25 minutes. All right, let me find equilibrium from this price leg. I It's a little bit. It's not a lot. Shark at the time at this moment, but it's getting there. I We are starting to get more and more regulars coming in every day, and so the one thing I'm noticing, even though we're not getting more views than usual, we are getting longer average view duration. So the people who are watching are enjoying it longer than usual. So that's good to see. Average view duration, I mean, it started in the teens and worked its way into the 20s, and then we kind of got capped around 30 minutes for a while. And I saw into last week, we were in the high 30s. So it's like 35, 36, 37 minutes average view per person. So it's definitely growing in that capacity. So I'm happy with the way things are developing. I think our subscribers are growing a little slower than I thought it would. But it's fine. The people who are coming are excited about the stream and are contributing to the stream. So I'm happy with the way things are right now. You're right, Richard. It is in neutral, or has been in neutral for quite some time. right, that fair value gap that was just below where the dollar was at earlier and it was trading into during the last hour. It's so far this hour traded below it. Now, obviously, we have to wait until the next 35 minutes before that candle closes to see if it closes below the fair value gap. But so far, it has traded below it and it's currently below. You got the hourly here on the big screen. Just following market structure to see where we are. I think we should measure this level here. Okay, we can see that 9 o'clock candle when it pushed lower below the new week opening gap. We got a break below 50%. So we traded into discount a little bit, pushed back up to the 8:30 open. And now we're just kind of trading in the middle of the zone. But here on the 1 hour, on the last price leg, we have traded back past equilibrium into discount, which then pushes up to the 8:30 open. And now price is trying to find its footing. And that was taken from the candle body of the 9 o'clock a.m. Friday candle. Anybody still in a short? Appreciate that, Shark. Yeah, appreciate your support. Also, you were one of the early birds to arrive here, so I appreciate you, hanging in there with me these last 5 months. Appreciate you, Queen. I do. I think it's 149. I can't remember. Yep. Shark, you still in the short? Okay, awesome. Told you, man, those diamond hands you got. Look at you. Thomas is in this. Jonathan's still in. Wow, you guys are. Whew, I don't know how you do it. I mean, I know you're in profit, and most of you probably got in somewhere up in the 900 range. So you've been sitting in 30 points of profit, back to 20, back down to 30, and now you're in the best position you've been in so far. So you should be about almost 50 points up now. All right, another 1 hour fair value gap. It's hard to see inside of this new week opening gap, but there's a 1 hour fair value gap right here between 853 and 848. It's also consequent encroachment of the breaker. 11:30 soup. Okay. All right. So Johnson added a little extra, aiming for 806 on the micro NQ. Okay. So that's just below where the new day opening gap was from last Thursday, I believe, to the lower quadrant of the fair value gap on the 1 hour. All right. Well, I'll go ahead. Let me go ahead and mark that since it's a level you're looking for. Sure did, Queen. You're right about that. It sure did. Either consequent encroachment entry or at the lower extremity, you could have got in either 908 or 913. Oh, you're out of it. Okay. Second group of the 5 evals. Man. Yeah, Shark, you're gonna pass soon if you keep hitting these type of trades. And then having the confidence in your trade to hold through all of this murkiness. It's a good job. Turning around here. Looks like possibly maybe a short-term turnaround here at the fair value gap. This one I talked about between 853 and 848. Seeing here on the, looks like we got a little breaker here on the 32nd. Yep. However, this little push here did not deliver a fair value gap or anything to use for a unicorn setup, and it didn't push really as hard as you would have liked it to. Yep. You know what? Let me mark it up just in case something happens here. Mm-mm. You got to be careful to make sure it's not just a trade into this range. Mm-mm-mm. Nice little push out of the breaker there for about 25 points out of a 30-second breaker. Right now that it's reached this S&D area here, let's see if now if it retraces, we start seeing it push back down. Handle body sitting on equilibrium or on the consequent encroachment of the larger 1-minute breaker. It's the exact same level as the smaller 30-second breaker. All right, 11:45. We got about 5 minutes, and then we'll have another macro session. Roll this section up again. So it didn't stop at consequent encroachment, but it also, it went right to the edge. It didn't take out the high. All right, I'm gonna move it down to the 1 minute here. Let's just watch the rest of this hour on the 1 minute. We have about 90 seconds before the macro starts, and then we'll have 10 minutes until till lunchtime. Excuse me. All right. Trade it back to the new week opening gap here, back inside of the breaker. Now let's see if it breaks through here. We're now into the macro period here, so we're going to see if maybe we get a shift of any kind of structure, but actually it doesn't look like we are even in that. Yeah, market structure shift is way up here at 948, so probably not going to get a market structure shift at all. But let's just look and see what type of liquidity points are traded to during this 10-minute period or the next 20-minute period. So 1150 to 1210. All right, Low Rich, good job. Way to go. Last 2 days for the Apex deal. Oh, okay. It runs out at the end of the month. So that would be right. So yeah, so the current Apex deal is 80% off the evaluation, and you only need 1 day to pass, so you can get the entire 3,000 in 1 day and pass the evaluation. So that's what the current deal is. It runs out in 1 day and 5 hours. So 5 p.m. East Coast time tomorrow. Mm. Yes, Queen. Also, I've noticed on several days when you look at the 930 Judas, it'll trade into a previously already created breaker. So before the 930, start looking for in the current area where you are, go back through London and into the Asia session as well and try to find a breaker. In a lot of cases, that's where it trades to. As you can see, if these equal highs get traded through. Yep, you're right. One of those two, it'll either trade to the breaker or confirm a new one that's in the process of being created. Yeah, I've been looking at that too because 930 has always kind of intimidated me and was always one of those time frames I didn't want to trade because I didn't really understand the movement of the candles. I saw the volatility, but also I wasn't good at predicting the direction. And now I'm starting to see kind of where it's going. I'm not quite there yet, so I'm still not taking 930 entries, but I'm starting to get more comfortable with them. Equal highs again. It's interesting. We went through the entire morning session, and the New York high and low are both still untraded, not traded to yet. So that's definitely an interesting morning. We haven't seen that too often. So we'll see what happens during lunch hour and as we get going in the afternoon session, whether those New York highs and lows are still available. Okay, one more short, looking for the lows to be swept. Okay, let's quickly glance at the 5 minute here. Then you said a market maker buy model on the 5 minute. All right, so in that case, we'd be going to sweep this high at 916, 17,916, and then looking for New York highs at the conclusion. Okay, it's about 65, 70 points above where we are. Yep, we sure do have a weekly fair value gaps just above us that we've been trading into. Let me get those measurements. Okay, it's about 907 to about 050. So about 140 points. All right, everyone. Great session this morning. Hope you all or most of you were able to find a good trade in there and grab a little bit out of the market. Let's try to hold on to that during lunch and come back to the afternoon session. We got about an hour break. We'll be back at 1300 to resume. So take care, everyone. Again, thanks for joining. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we're back at 1300. So just give me an hour. All right. Take care, everyone.